What's up, guys? Twitch. I did a Geargia profile before. I've since modified it because the SDR, without getting the level 8 dude, Elephant, very inconsistent. You couldn't really rely on it too much. So I went to pure Geargia. I really like this build. I've played against a lot of top tier decks. This deck does pretty well. Shut up. I beat your Yang Zings before with it.
On a three-way.
Doesn't matter. It's still one. So, I'm going to give you a deck profile of this, and hopefully you guys like it. You guys can always comment what you guys recommend on it. I saw that in one of my last deck profile videos. A lot of comments about the deck and about what I used and what I could do to improve and stuff like that. So, I always welcome that. So, let's get on with this. So, first, triple armor. Main searcher of the deck besides the Xe, Geargia X, but very good because just flip, you search. So even if your opponent attacks it, unless they have an effect to bounce it back or something, shut up. Just searches out everything. Next, triple accelerator, pretty much staple of the deck. Just special summon it if you control another Geargia card on the field. Very useful when if you want to spam the field. And the next is triple arsenal. It's boosted by 200 attack per Geargia on the field. So if you get these two guys out, then normal him, he's instantly boosted by 600. So from 15 he's to a 21 beat stick, and then you just tribute him for another armor, and then flip the bolt down, and good to go to continue on. And then of course one augur, because augur, you pretty much use him if you need to grab an accelerator real quick, if you just want a quick Xe for Geargia X to set up for next turn. But any more than him, I feel clogs, because you can only really... Accelerator is the only good card for him because he's only 500 attack and defense. You could search armor, like let's say you already have accelerator in hand, but you can't really... You can't search for him out yet, or having trouble getting him. So that's why I only use one. Just clogs up. So that's for the 4 Geargias. Next I do the level 3s, triple Geargiana MK2. You really need triple of him because if you just put 2 in, he comes up still, but you really need to keep him in the deck as much as possible. Shut up. Yes, Flamey Q-Tip is over here laughing his ass off. But,
He said come.
you sick bastard. But, yes, you need to keep him because, of course, with Geargia Gear, you really try to keep the level 3s in your deck as much as possible to just keep doing it. And you'll see in the extra deck why one of the cards I run helps keep them in the deck. Next is just 2 MK3s. His effect is good. Like, let's say if you normal MK2, use his effect to special him out, special summon another level 3 guy out. That's how you get the 3 level 3 Geargia Xe out. He's really good, especially when you use Geargia Gear, because you special summon MK2, you special summon MK3. MK3's effect, you special summon another 4 from, like, let's say the grave or your hand, and then you can go instantly into, let's say, Delteros, or another 3 level 4 monster, and just swarm the field with a very good Xe. For non-Geargia cards, 3 Kage to Kage. I really like this, especially like with the augur, because he's very slow. You normal the augur, you special summon the Kage, or even if you can do that. Actually, no, you can't. I forgot about that. You can't do it with augur. My bad. Sorry. But like, let's say like they're using skill drain, or you just normal like accelerator. Because you have nothing else, you can just special the Kage. It's just another person on the field. Also, let's say like if you just open up with armor, you go armor Kage, and then you flip armor down, and you pretty much have 2 defensive monsters on the field to kind of protect you for the rest of the turn. So that's why I run him. You can side him out very easily for anything else if you need to run more traps or something. So that's why I have him. And then last is Jinzo. Just sometimes, like if your opponent like Fiendish Chains, your Gear Giant X or Gear Giant X doesn't have any attachments or anything, you just need to clear the field for like one spot. You just tribute for Jinzo, and then they can't use any traps. You can't use traps either, but the only real trap you need to use is Geargia Gear. But you can live without him. But this effect helps you more than Geargia Gear, so that's why I run one. So that's all the monsters. For spells, of course, triple MST, Heavy Storm of the format, as I call it. You have to, if you do not run 3, you really have problems. Unless you have some other way of popping back row or bouncing it back, or like with Jinzo, you can't activate traps, you really need to put 3 in. It just helps you out so much more. Next, double Forbidden Lance protects your monsters from spells and traps, and even if, like, because Gear Giant X is only a 2300 monster, it's not the highest in the world, but like, let's say they're trying to get over you with like 25 or something, you go Forbidden Lance to them, minus 800, it helps protect you, so very nice. Limiter removal, Honest of the Deck, these are just one of these last few spells, but doubles their attacks. But usually you use this like if you just have like one big push, like their field's clear and you only can do like 4,000 damage because you only have a couple of the level 4 Geargias on the field. You just limiter removal them, double their attacks, and you just steamroll over them. Very good. Next is Iron Call, just because if you need to get that, if you need another Geargia on the field, because easily you go Accelerator, and then you Iron Call like Geargia Gear, or not Geargia Armor, and you just overlay. It helps you out, especially if everything's being sent to the grave, and you just Iron Call one out. Helps you out. Next is Soul Charge. Pretty much every deck is running this. You really need one. Very good if you just need to. If everything's being sent to the grave, being destroyed, you just Soul Charge, bring like 4 guys out, even though that's a lot. Double Gear Giant, or Geargia X, whatever. Gear Giant X. Search out for 2 more guys, set up for next turn. So very helpful. 1 Book of Moon to flip Geargia Armor, like they Phoenix Chain it or something. And of course 1 Regeki, because Dark Hole hurts you as much as it hurts your opponent. Next trap. 1 Geargia Gear, standard, since you can only have 1. 3 would help this deck out, and why the hell is my phone going off right now? 1 Geargia Gear is much needed. 3 would be much better though. 2 Deprison, because Deprison is better than Mirror Force, because it banishes the monster, not just sends it to grave. So when you're facing like Yang Zings or something and they attack you, you go Deprison, banish it, they don't get the effect off. So very helpful. 1 Mirror Force, just if you can clear their board off of their attack, very useful. 1 Phoenix Chain, stop attack, as well as effects. Dual purpose card. Breakthrough skill, negate effects. Very useful. Especially like if it's your turn and they have a monster that can use effect, you banish it from the graveyard. Negate their effect for the turn. 1 Compulse, because you have no other way of doing it in this deck. 1 Torrential Tribute. Clear board. 1 Call, just like Iron Call. Just get someone back out. 1 Solemn Warning, negate a summon. And 7 tools to stop a trap card. Especially Skill Drain, because Skill Drain is just, that stops this deck in its tracks without even trying. Okay. I do not have a side deck for this yet. Sorry about that. I'm still working on it. But extra deck is more than full at the moment. So let's go with that. Geargia Gear, Giant XG. This is the new card the new XG that came in the structure decks. He's easier to get out than you think if you have the cards. He's very easy to get out. Very useful, especially if you already use Geargia Gear. Because when he's destroyed, you can just add it back from the grave. So you can just keep recycling cards, or any other Geargia card as well. 1 Fortune Tune, this is the card I was talking about earlier. If you open up with like 2 MK2s, or an MK2 and MK3, you don't use the MK3 effect because that's just bad. You go for the Fortune Tune. You keep gaining life points, so it kind of helps with like your soul charges and your solemn warning and your 7 tools because you have to pay. And he pretty much sets up a defense because your opponent has to minimum attack it 3 times. But when he's destroyed, you just shuffle the 2 that were attached to it back into the deck, and then he goes back too. So it's kind of like okay, recycling, and then you don't have to run more level 3 or rank 3 guys because he just recycles. So next is Geargia X. You have to run 3. He's the other searcher of the deck for all your machine cards. Because the whole idea of this deck, honestly, you search out all the monsters to thin it out as much as possible, and then you just, every time you draw, during draw phase, you get a spell or trap. So it really just keeps the deck rolling. I wish Pot of Greed was in it, or even if you could have like Morphing Jar, just it would help out so much so you can get more spells and traps to your hand much quicker, because you have no other way of searching besides drawing. Next is Wind Up Zenmains, or Zenmeister. He's a machine, so when you use like Geargia Augur, because Geargia Augur, you can only special summon machine type monsters for the rest of the turn. So let's say you already have an armor out, and then you do Augur, and then you search for Geargia Accelerator special summon from your hand. You bring out Zenmeister, you overlay Accelerator and Geargia Augur, you flip the armor, and then end phase it unflips, or it flip summons, whatever you want to call it. Get another search off. So you get 2 searches that turn off of 1 card. Very useful, especially if you're just trying to thin the deck out. 101, because same thing as Castell, you really need to put either one of these or both of these, strongly both of these, in every deck. Who the frick is texting me right now? Quentin, why the fuck are you texting me?
I'm on the phone.
Yeah, you do.
You gave away my identity.
So? Your name is Q in it, that's close enough.
Q-Tip, the rapper.
One is Maystroke. He's also like Fortune Tune. You can just put him in defense, and it pretty much stops. Pretty much your opponent has to attack it 3 times to destroy it. Also, you can flip cards face down, which is very useful. I don't know how to. I'm just gonna say Gordon. It's kind of like
a. Pronounce it here.
What is it? It's Kara Gordon, right?
Crane, Gordon, Antiluminescent Night. Something like that.
Whatever. I call him Gordon. I just call him Gordon.
Combo, man.
He's useful because like if your opponent like uses a monster effect on one of your guys, you use his effect to change it. So like you can change it to your opponent. So if like let's say they use Pallades on you and they bounce a monster, you're like nope, detach. I target your own Pallades. Bam. Clears the board using their effect. So very nice. One Steel Swarm Roach for when you're playing synchro decks. Just because they're like, okay, I'm going to keep going up and up and up. And you're like, nope, destroy, negate. Very good. Populative, of course, you got to run the Pappy. If you have armor set, you can flip using Populative after you book a moon it, let's say. Yeah, you can.
It's only your opponent, man.
I think you can target yourself.
Yeah.
No, it just says 1 defense position monster on the field. Okay. Learn the effects, man.
Hey, about them synchros, boy.
Shut up.
Synchros.
So yes, very useful. Comboed with Book of Moon. 1 Ragna 0, because whenever you play most decks nowadays, especially Quiffles or Yang Zings have it as well. Boosting monsters' attacks, just like what Brotherhoods did back a few formats ago. It modified their original attack. So you just use Ragna 0. You also get the draw off of it when you use the effect, so you can thin your deck out even more and get your spells and traps. So very useful. 1 King of the Feral Imps, just because searching Kage when you're trying to spam the field more, get more level 4s out so you can get more of these guys out. Very useful. And he's also a 23 beat stick. So very useful. And then 1 Delteros, just because you can keep popping cards on the field as much as you want. And yeah, seriously, dude, you just dropped your entire deck on the table.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm a sad
You just use Delteros to pop everything on the field. Doesn't matter if it's monster, spell, or trap. You just pop it on the field, and very good with big pushes. Especially when you have the field just covered in machine type monsters. Use limited removal. Use this to pop the back row.
Please stop. I'm thinking so dirty right now. Please stop.
Seriously, dude?
Yes.
This is trying to be clean. Guys, I'm sorry, but we got a perverted mind over here. Just peace out.